Oh, this is like...
Yeah, that's why I was hoping that you weren't getting obscured.
You just need good posture.
What's that? I'm a gamer, I have none. Anyways, greetings Booktubians, welcome to... We're not gonna frick... Take two. Greetings...
Readers Guild.
Greetings Booktubians, welcome to Readers Guild. We're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite books. We don't have any repeat series, I don't think.
So...
In our individual podcasts.
Like, if Wheel of Time is your favorite series, you can't choose, like, 1, 2, and 3. You have to choose, like, one book from the series.
And these are also stuff that we own. So, like, I don't know if something that we don't own might replace one of these, but, you know, this is more of like if I had a gun in my head, I'm going with this.
It's like, choose 5 books. Now you have to, or you're gonna die.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna choose whatever's around, so...
That's fair.
Yeah. So,
I guess I'll start. First? Okay, yeah. So I chose Hero of Ages because this one is, I think this book may be the most emotional out of like anything I've ever read.
Mm-hmm.
I stared at the wall for an hour after I finished this book.
Contemplating life.
Yeah, because I stayed up late because I had class the next morning, and I'm like, I'm like 50 pages away from finishing. I need to finish the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And then I couldn't fall asleep even though I was up late. I was like...
Because it's like it's the last series of the Cosmere you read, right?
Yeah,
so
this is like most people's intro to Cosmere, but this was my, I guess, exit.
Like tail end of your...
Yeah.
I mean, before this, when was this, 2020?
I actually was reading book 2, 2020 to 2021, like literally at midnight.
You mean 2019 to 2020?
No, 2020 to 20...
Are you sure? Because
no.
I was reading...
I don't remember. One of the New Year's,
okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Point is, you're reading on the turn of the wheel.
You're saying the century? No. But yeah, this one, the ending, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So much happens in that book.
Yeah, Sanderson's plots are amazing, and this series specifically...
He understands how to escalate stuff.
He does. He really does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess in that same vein, I'm realizing...
We didn't plan the order.
They're not going to believe us, but Alloy of Law. Now, it's not the best Sanderson book. It's not even the best Mistborn book, necessarily.
Funnily enough, that is my least favorite Cosmere book.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. That is
really
interesting. No, I didn't know that. I thought you would have chosen, like, Elantris or something like that before you chose Al. Well, look, the reason I think it's the best, in Era 2 specifically, I haven't read Lost Metal, so maybe that might change.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's the best Cosmere, and I don't think it's the best Era 1, Era 2 combined, because I like Era 1 more than... It just has the perfect, fun blend of action, western, fantasy. You know, like, even like the end, it's like... It gave me the vibe that I got when I was watching... this is not a western, but The Mummy, like 1999. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brendan Fraser. I don't know. It's like... There's something about, like, it's just, like, to me, it symbolizes everything I love about, like, Indiana Jones, Mummy, and stuff like that.
Just, like, a fun action adventure.
Yeah. And I don't like Bands of Mourning as much, because again, Sanderson, while he's good at plot escalation, he also likes to, like, be like, end of the world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I like the more cozy, sort of, like, contained.
Cozy murder.
Hey, that's a genre. That's a genre.
Alright, the next one is my favorite so far from Dresden Files, Turncoat. So, right? Yes, the one right before Changes. I feel like the ending of this one,
Yeah.
So much happened, and I just felt, like, sad. Even though, like, nothing terrible, like, happened, but I was just like...
I mean, terrible things happen.
Yeah, but, like...
But also, nothing, like...
But it wasn't supposed to be depressing.
Yeah.
But after I finished it, I'm like, why am I depressed?
It's one of those things, like, when you read a book and, like, someone dies at the end, right? Mm-hmm. It's like that's
you're meant to be sad and, like, grieve over that character. But, like, for this book, I'm just like, well, he's fine, but, like, I'm not fine.
I'm not fine. Is this a cry for help?
No. But that book, I don't know, it it like scratched that itch better than the rest of them.
I think that's one of my favorite of the Dresden because of the desperation.
Yeah, you really see him push to his limits.
Yeah. But then Changes comes after, and then you're like, oh, well, even
Things
more.
change.
Do they? I don't remember. I guess, somewhat. My turn.
I bet everyone's guessing what my final book is.
Yeah, it's quite the mystery. Yeah. Saving the best for last. So, I'm on a reread. I'm rereading Shadow Rising right now, and as we speak. But I think it's the best one. I've thought about this long and hard. I used to say 11, 12, or this a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the best one because it's like, one, this is not the reason, but I just like to mention it. They all get their iconic looks in this book.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that.
That's when I started liking the series. Was book 4.
4 through 6 is like the best quality, like streak, I suppose. For me, it's like 3 to 6 because I love 3. 2
I
to
like
2
3.
to 6.
Most people were surprised that I enjoyed 3, but I thought 2 wasn't as good. But to me, it was more consistent. I guess. I don't know.
There's elements in 3 that like are a breath of fresh air, even though it's like technically the same plot, but it does elevate things from the first 2. And I think when those elements come back later on, it's like, it feels like good old times. So, and especially if you read these books as they came out, like that would have felt like good old times. But this one is the best one. Best world building, character work, iconic looks, action scenes even. I was mentioning that.
Some pretty good ones.
Yeah, and then like it's the first time you kind of see like the main character's intelligence as an actual feature, and because the other ones he doesn't get a lot of opportunities to show that. But in this one, so that is mine.
Alright, my next one is Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie. I was putting this book off because I was so mad because I ordered a book and it didn't come in because the publisher didn't send it to the store, and then everyone had finished reading it while I was still waiting. So once I got it, I'm like, I'll read it like next month, and then next month, and then almost a year went by, I think.
Yeah.
Of it being...
Everyone had read it already.
Oh, yeah, because at that point I'm like, well, everyone's already read it, so there's no rush. And then I picked it up, finally, like almost a year after. Oh my god. I was sweating while I was reading it. And then the ending, I was like, no, you can't end it like that. Oh my god. Yeah. And the fact that I hadn't like brushed up on the first 2 books in that trilogy, and I went into this and I still loved it, means that whenever I start my reread and get to this book, I feel like it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
When I was listening to that book and reading it and stuff, I had to like get out of bed and start pacing in one of the few scenes. Like, not one of the few. Many of the scenes.
Yeah, it's so intense. Oh my gosh, you never know what's going to happen in his books. Yeah. They're great. And
the humor.
Yes, I just love.
It's also depressing.
Yeah, I love his writing. I guess there's a trend with my books.
What? You're like
depressed.
Yeah.
The first one made me stare at a wall because I was depressed. The second one made me feel depressed even though nothing depressing happened. That one was like intense.
But then we read Little Life, and we didn't. I think these are books that you don't expect to be depressed in, because like Dresden.
I think you're just so invested that you get depressed because you're like so into the world.
Yeah. Fantasy tends to have its tragedies hit, whereas like something like Little Life, which is just like a character study of people that are depressed, it's just more of like an overwhelming, looming sensation.
Yeah, like you're reading it to be depressed, so then you almost like
you
almost like put up the depression barriers, but when you're not expecting it in these books, then you're just kind of. Yeah,
we've used the word depression so many times already in this.
Take a shot every.
Oh God, okay. That's not alcohol. All right. So, Wall of Storm specifically, because I think this one is Dandelion Dynasty is becoming one of my favorite series. I've finished the first 3. I'm on Speaking Bones. I haven't really started Speaking Bones. I can't really say that, but this one's the best probably because it has the climax, the middle, the beginning. Like every portion is like an epic, like a mini epic that leads to the greater overarching epic, and then when it ends, it's also epic. And nothing about this fantasy series really, like when you read Cosmere, it's like it is epic because it's so many planets and gods and all of these, right? this series is weird. Like, the gods might as well not exist. They exist for the purposes of, like, a character study. Like, they're all characters that you learn about through basically the bigger, like, school children. But it's, I don't know, but then it has moments that you're like, oh my god, I'm invested. Like, we were at Starbucks once, sitting down, and I wanted to, like, start pacing. I don't like, that'll weird some people out. So.
And funnily enough, I gave that book 2 stars to be nice, but it put me in a reading slump.
Yeah,
I think mostly because the length. Because, like, the beginning, I enjoyed it more than the first one.
Yeah.
But then, like, as soon as I got to the middle, I'm like, I don't want to read this anymore.
It was going to be a trilogy.
Yeah, but I was already halfway through, and I'm like, I guess I'll just finish it. And then I didn't finish anything else after the movie. But, yeah, it put me in a reading slump, so.
You forgot how to read.
Yeah, exactly. I had no motivation to read.
Yeah.
Which is why I DNF'd the series. I was going to finish it, and then I'm like, that's gonna ruin my... It would take me, like, a year to, like, read.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's... You would have hated Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. My next one is my favorite book of all time, Way of Kings.
Too big,
which,
huh?
Yeah. Which I don't have a better edition of it because I want to buy the leatherbounds, but I'm not going to spend $200 on an unsigned book, and also I don't even think they're in stock right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, for now we have our little...
There's a charm to it.
Yeah, it's so cute though, look at it just stands up on its own.
Yeah, it's
a weapon for intruders. But yeah, this one,
I mean...
I don't remember getting such, like, a reading high from any other book. Like, I read this book, and I just kept flipping and flipping and flipping, and then after I finished this, I finished Words of Radiance in, like, 4 days, which is...
Oh, yeah.
That's, like, 400 pages a day.
Yeah.
Or maybe 300.
I finished it 4 total, but between the second and the third day of reading, there was a week where I was just dying. I had a very, very high fever.
Yeah, I think I read it over the course of 5 days, but it was like the second half of that day and then the first half of this day. But yeah, so this one, it just like kick-started my reading because after reading this, you feel like you can read anything.
It's also my first Cosmere book specifically. I just dove right in.
I went into this thinking that it was a trilogy as well.
Oh no. Oh no.
So it wasn't until I got to Oathbringer. I was literally opening Oathbringer and I'm like,
oh god.
And I looked it up because I was mixing up Wheel of Time and Way of Kings for the longest time because I was getting into fantasy. But yeah, that I figured it out and I was like happy and also like, oh, I have to wait for books now. Yeah, but the character work in this is great. Escalation of plot, great.
Yeah, and I think it's this is a hot take, but we're gonna say it anyways. I think it's one of the few books that actually deserves that it has a Sandor Lynch.
Yeah, Sandor Lynch, so good.
Like,
it's so good.
Because I think the other ones people say they're a Sandor Lynch, but I think that one truly like is one for what it means. Other ones are just good climaxes.
Yeah, I need to reread that one again.
We should just talk about Sandor Lynch, like what it means. The whole video, like a 30-minute analysis on the Sandor Lynch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do this one first. Small Gods. I love this book so much because it's Discworld and Discworld's like 41 books, but they're all like this length, and you don't have to read them in order because they're comprised of mini series. This one though is one of the few standalones that you can read on its own, and I think it's more of a colorful experience if you like have read something with the Discworld, like either the Death arc or like Guard, the Nightwatch arc, any of the arcs that there are, and you can just look them up. There's like reading orders and stuff. But you can still just read this one on its own, and it's charming, it's witty, and it's sarcastic, and has some of the most likable characters. It's about a god that descends in the form of a turtle, and his...
That's a really good premise.
Yeah, I know. When you say it like that, I'm like, okay. Yeah, but and his most devoted follower finds him, and it's just their journey doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's lighthearted too, so.
My next one I'm super excited to show off because I recently got it. This is Babel. Look at this fancy edition. Wow. Wow. I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. I don't even know if I want to read this edition because I don't want to mess it up. But
Your journey behind obtaining the book is sometimes more exciting.
well, I just found it at a used bookstore, and I'm like, I have credit.
No, you don't.
Yeah, now exactly. But yeah, this one, everything Kwong writes, I feel like she writes for me because I'm angry and I'm Asian, and this one has language in it, and I love language learning. And it's just I love angry characters.
You like the rage.
Yeah, because whenever I read, it's like therapy. It's like I'm
If
getting my anger out, watching them be angry.
If
Do
you-
the things that they're doing.
if you grew up with like Star Wars and like were like a fan growing up of Star Wars, not just like grew up around it, you would be the person that would love Maul, like Darth
Yeah.
Maul. Like
Probably.
like I'll go into that story later, but it's rage.
Yeah, but everything she puts out, I've loved so far, and I just at the end of all her books, you're kind of left with this like bittersweet feeling,
Mhm. Yeah.
like it's a satisfying ending, but you also want to know what's next. But you know the story ended at the right time.
Yeah, Poppy War felt like that too.
Yeah,
I
I think everything I've read by her
yeah,
has
I've
been like that. You just get that little like, ah.
It's because they are stories about very bleak situations. So like there isn't like just a win condition. There's like you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, it's like you win
Grimdark,
it, but at what
Like
what cost?
you can
And
even
does it even feel like a win?
yeah, like at
Would
the
you
end
like
of
to
the day.
reveal yours?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, same reasons. Well, I mean, so why I like it is because I'm a big fan of like language and like linguistics and how it changes with culture to culture and how it drifts, and that is this book. You know what I mean? And I do like the protagonist, and I do like all the characters. I think while being such a
They're not likable, but you love them.
I would say some of them are likable, but they have very like extreme qualities.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it's a dark book. Like when you
Yeah.
really put it, it's so dark. People said that it's unrealistically racist, but like nah, fam, that's how the British work. Like it's about colonial. Sorry, can't. That's colonialism right there. Anyways,
You can't even speak about it. You're not allowed.
no, I'm being shut. It's like 1984. It's about colonialism, imperialism. It's about like the suppression and repression and oppression, all the shuns of cultures and language, really. And I think it's also very important because it addresses this larger issue of how there's no way to solve the issue that's like simple. Like somewhere blood's gonna flow, and well, yeah, it does flow. That does it.
Yeah, I just love this book because
Yeah.
you could tell she put so much research into this, and
Oh yeah.
there's so much love,
Yeah.
and it feels like a research paper, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah, it does. It's-
I say that to people, and I don't know if it's a good way to sell the book because no one really
well,
wants to read a
if they
research
aren't
paper.
if they aren't intrigued by that premise, then they probably won't like if they are
Yeah.
intrigued. Sorry, what I'm saying is if they are intrigued, then they will probably like the book. So in a way, it's like a good way.
Yeah, it's a good way to filter people out. But
Yeah.
yeah, this book.
She even has in the beginning. I remember she has all the changes that she made that she knows are inaccurate to history,
Mhm.
and these aren't like who ruled when. It's like I know that this train station didn't exist in '64, but I'm making it exist in '64 because I need the way to get this guy from this point to this point realistically.
That's
I know-
crazy. Yeah, she
yeah.
put so much effort into this.
And then she challenges readers that if they find any errors, they can always take it up with her.
She's just like, yeah, this is a work of fiction, so
Yeah, but the fact that like she's like, if you find anything, we can talk. And I don't think anyone's gonna contest it when the beginning is just an entire passage of all her inconsistencies that she purposefully put.
yeah. Yeah, this is a wonderful book. I would recommend it if
Yeah.
it sounds interesting to you.
Yeah. But yeah, that was top 5 books. I mean, I guess they're all fantasy, but I didn't like
Yeah.
even.
Well, I mean,
just
we
a
mostly
lot
read
of
fantasy
yeah.
books, so
Yeah,
that's gonna
true.
happen.
Yeah.
Little Life was a runner-up for me because of the prose.
I was, funnily enough, I didn't even consider it, but now that you mention it, I don't know which one I would, gun to my head, so I I had a very short time to choose 5. But yeah, that was top 5 books. Top 5 books or best books?
Our favorite 5 books
Yeah, favorite 5 books.
that we thought of on the spot. We didn't do too much thinking.
Yeah, because a lot of them we don't even own.
They'll change a lot too, because if
Yeah.
I'm in the mood for something darker, I guess this is kind of my stack, but then I don't know if I can't even think of what else I would put on there, quite honestly. But
I was considering to put on Robin Hobb, Royal Assassin. Wait, no. Yeah, Royal Assassin book 2. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy your next book.
bye.